YouTube! What going on, YouTube? It's your boy Emery back with another motherfucking video, man. I told y'all niggas I'm finna try to be consistent every hey, man! Nigga, I'm being consistent as fuck, nigga. It's my fish video over the past 3 days. That's not bad. Oh God. And I'm uploading 2 videos a day, man. So, hey, the grind, the grit, the hustle, the patience, the dexterity, the dexterity. Is that how you say it? Dexterity? I don't know how to say that shit. Anyways, though, it's your boy Avery back on another fake video, back on another motherfucking reaction, man. Hey, I'm on the road to 700 subscribers, and we're currently at 580, man. It's 580, and I want 700 by the end of July. 700 by the end of July. That's possible. We could do that. Oh, God, we can. We could do that. I done seen folks do the 10,000 subscribers in a week before, so we could definitely do that. With that being said, if you do not know me, my name is Emery. I'm a small YouTuber / reactioner, whatever the fuck you want to call it, from Florence, Alabama, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm only 20 years old. My birthday just passed in April. And yeah, I don't know what else y'all want me to say, man. Without further ado, let's get straight into the motherfucking video. And roll your dope up, too, if you got it. Nah, for real. Oh, one thing I got to do real quick. Bro, as soon as we cut on the video, though, chat, we get an ad. What's going on? Then. Let me tell y'all something else that's crazy. I didn't even plug my headphones in, so I can't even hear nothing. Y'all can hear me, but I can't hear nobody else. Feel me? And that's crazy. How the fuck can you forget to plug headphones in? I need them. How the fuck I forget to do that? That's like one of the most important steps. For real. There we go, though. I got it fixed now. No, I don't. No, I don't. Let me go right here. Go right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Pow. Look at that. There we go.
WRLD's death just dropped, and it's changing everything we thought we knew. For 5 years, we've been told Juice WRLD died after panicking during a police search. But this footage doesn't just show his final moment.
I got told he got the
seizure.
seizure.
The official story and raises serious questions about what really happened that night. Let's get into it. The real story behind that fatal night. Before we get into the hospital footage from that night, we need to break down what really happened on the day Juice WRLD died. December 8th, 2019 started like any other day for him. The young king was flying back to Chicago from LA on his private jet, probably thinking about celebrating his 21st birthday with family back home in the Chi. But what happened next didn't just change his life. It rocked the entire hip-hop world to its core. According to official reports from the Chicago Tribune, federal agents and Chicago police were already waiting when that jet touched down at Midway International Airport. Now, this wasn't no random search. They had been tipped off by the pilot himself about guns and drugs potentially being on board. When them feds started going through that plane, they found some serious contraband.
And to be real, W pilot, but L pilot. Let me tell you why. Because this nigga is talking about some, where's drugs, this and that and the third. But nigga, this nigga's a celebrity. He's supposed to be able to keep that. Well, not the drugs, but all the other shit, and this do-rag gun even, but like all the other shit, bro, he's supposed to be able to keep that shit. Like the guns and shit, bro. I feel like if you a celebrity, if you somebody with high profile status, if you somebody who is a well-known person, you should be able to be sticked up. Whether you're a felon, whether you're a rapper, whether you're a trapper, worker, scammer, whatever you are, bro, I feel like if you're a well-known figure, you should be able to carry a gun at all times. Only because your life is more on the radar than everybody else's.
70 pounds of vacuum-sealed marijuana, 6 bottles of codeine cough syrup, 2 9mm pistols, a .40 caliber pistol, a high-capacity magazine, and metal-piercing bullets. This wasn't just personal use amounts. We're talking about enough product to catch some serious federal charges. Now here's where the story gets complicated, and where a lot of the confusion and conspiracy theories started bubbling up. Multiple sources reported that during this federal search, Juice WRLD allegedly swallowed multiple Percocet pills, possibly to hide them from authorities. But hold up, let's think about this logically for a second. Adam22 from No Jumper, who was close to Juice, brought up some real valid points about this narrative. In an interview, he expressed skepticism about the whole swallowing pills to hide them story.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I read in the news too. I never actually really talked to anybody who was there. I wonder to what extent that story is maybe different if you were to hear it. Like, I don't know, it seems kind of so silly to just take a bunch of pills when it's like, if you were really getting busted with a bunch of illegal stuff, like whether you knew about it or didn't know about it, a couple of pills is nothing, you know? Like And you have 70 pounds of weed and a bunch.
And that's 100% true. Not only that, I feel like if Juice WRLD really did that, he knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He's not stupid. He's been doing this. Niggas been taking drugs since before he even came on the rap scene. That's why he made the song Lucid Dreams. Lucid Dreams means you're over here and you're dreaming about this shit, but you're not in reality. If that makes sense. Like you're able to basically control your dreams inside lucid dreams. You know what I'm saying? You're basically able to see shit. Yeah. With that being said, Juice WRLD been on drugs. Been on drugs for the longest. Now all of a sudden he just popped these little bit of drugs and he overdosed in the air. Something don't seem right about that.
Of guns and all this, whatever was on that plane, you know, a handful of perks is not going to make a dent in the case.
Adam 22 makes a real point here that a lot of people overlooked. When you're already looking at federal charges for 70 pounds of weed and multiple firearms, why would you risk your life over a few pills? But then he breaks it down even further, explaining the mindset of someone who's not used to dealing with federal investigations.
If he knew about the weed and the drugs, he's thinking, oh, that's going to be on me. Everyone around me is going to say, I didn't know nothing about it. I'm going to be the target, just like Lil Wayne. Remember when he got busted on the tour bus and everything, and on the plane more recently?
Right. Everything
goes towards the guy who's financing everything.
That is
true. I got these drugs in my pocket on top of it. You're not making logical steps. Okay, well, I've got these pills, but that's not really a big deal. So let me just go ahead and no, like you're panicking. What's going on? Oh. Let me just swallow him real quick, and then...
What happened next was every artist's worst nightmare. Juice WRLD suffered a grand mal seizure and went into cardiac arrest right there in the airport hangar. The paramedics immediately administered Narcan, that's naloxone, the opioid overdose reversal drug, but it wasn't enough to save him. Now his girlfriend, Ali Lottie, was right there when this all went down. She told...
And one thing I'm gonna say about Juice WRLD's death, bro, Juice WRLD's death affected many people. It affected me myself. I ain't gonna lie. I still to this day bump Juice WRLD's music. I still to this day listen to Juice WRLD like he's still alive. Feel me? So whenever he died, bro, it really impacted a lot of people, bro. A lot of people was hurt by Juice WRLD's death because Juice WRLD was such a mentor and a role model and an inspiration to many people that he had a legacy. If that makes sense, he had a legacy. He built a legacy, and that's hard. I feel like that's one of the hardest things you can do. If you coming from a small town and now you got these hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people that love you, but you're doing something different. You're not even rapping. You're over here talking about real life problems. Like, nigga, you're talking about depression, anxiety, you know what I'm saying, heartbreak, the shit that other folks are really scared to talk about because they're scared people are going to judge them. That's hard, bro.
Told the police straight up that Juice had a drug problem with Percocet. This wasn't no secret. Everybody in his circle knew the young king was struggling with addiction. Despite the paramedics' best efforts, Juice WRLD was pronounced dead at 3:14 a.m. at Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, Illinois. He was only 21 years old. 2 months later, on January 22nd, 2020, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office released their official findings. The cause of death was ruled as accidental overdose due to oxycodone and codeine toxicity, but the toxicology report revealed a whole cocktail of substances in his system that paint a picture of just how deep his addiction really was. According to detailed toxicology findings shared in online forums and referenced in the HBO documentary Into the Abyss, Juice's system contained oxycodone and codeine at toxic levels, the primary causes of death. Morphine, 7.4.
Oh my God.
Oh, you've never used samples like this.
But God,
let me show you why.
I hate these ads.
Metabolite of codeine, hydrocodone, 10 ngml, another opioid, oxymorphone, 13 ngml, a metabolite of oxycodone, promethazine, 270 ngml, the antihistamine found in lean, naloxone from the Narcan administered by paramedics, THC and various cannabis metabolites, caffeine and cotinine. But here's where it gets really heavy. The HBO documentary Into the Abyss suggested something that changes the whole narrative. According to the documentary, Juice WRLD consumed a pint of lean and over 20 pills that day. This wasn't about hiding drugs from the feds. This was about a young man whose addiction had spiraled completely out of...
In other words, he was trying to get stupid geeked, but he literally said this in all these songs. He said, battling depression, anger, aggression, make a nigga go suicidal. Love ain't meant, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga said this in all his songs, bro. He said that he was going through a drug opioid. A drug addiction. He said that he was going through this shit. He said in every single song, bro, I got a pill addiction, or I'm addicted to this, or I'm addicted to that. Addiction is a real thing. A lot of people don't realize that, though. A lot of people don't realize though that motherfucker really can be addicted to shit. You could be addicted to weed, bro. Real addicted. You could be addicted to porn, bro. You could be addicted to anything. Addiction is a real thing. Addiction is a very over-consuming thing. Whenever you're addicted to something, it's really, really hard to just run from something because your body is telling you that you need that substance, whatever it is, whatever that feeling, that adrenaline rush, whatever that thing is that your body is craving. You need that. It's very hard that your body knows sometimes. I can't lie. It really is.
Control. Think about that for a second. A whole pint of lean, that's 16 ounces of codeine and promethazine cough syrup, plus over 20 Percocet pills in one day. That's enough opioids to kill multiple people. This paints a completely different picture than the swallowed pills to hide them narrative that dominated the headlines. D Savage, who was living with Juice WRLD and was one of his closest friends, gave us some real insight into just how deep the addiction was.
Because I mean, like 20 perks a day, that's honestly like...
He probably was doing more than that. That's just a safe number
Right.
to say. He was definitely doing more than that.
20 pills a day was just the baseline. D Savage is saying Juice was probably doing even more than that regularly. To put this in perspective, a single Percocet...
So if he was doing this right here on a regular, bro, that means his body became immune to it. Eventually. I wonder what the point is that they're trying to
30
get it right.
milligrams pill can be lethal for someone without tolerance. We're talking about a level of addiction that was absolutely life-threatening every single day. Juice WRLD's death wasn't just some tragic accident that happened because he panicked during a police search. This was the inevitable result of an addiction that had been building for years, enabled by an industry that profits off young artists' pain and ignored by people who should have stepped in to help. Up next, we're going to break down how this addiction started, how it escalated to such dangerous levels, and why the people closest to him couldn't or wouldn't do enough to save his life. The truth is gonna hurt, but we owe it to Juice's memory to tell the whole story. The addiction that everyone saw coming. All right, now we're about to get into the real heavy part of this story. Because what happened to Juice WRLD on December 8th, 2019 wasn't some sudden tragedy that nobody could have predicted. This was a slow motion disaster that had been building for years, and damn near everybody in his circle saw it coming from a mile away.
Facts
Juice
they
WRLD,
did.
real name Jared Anthony Higgins, didn't just wake up one day and decide to start popping pills. Nah, this story goes way back to when he was just a young kid in the suburbs of Chicago, falling in love with hip-hop music. In a candid interview with No Jumper, Juice broke down exactly how his drug use started.
Really just becoming a healthier person, cleansing myself of certain. So like, that's obviously like an obstacle, but I'm getting there, so.
You always had issues with drugs even before you started to get famous and rich?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was something that I was into early, low-key due to music. Cause like, I was a music head, so like in 6th grade, 7th grade, I'm hearing songs about sipping lean. Those are like the real influential years.
He continued.
Find out who your role models are, what you like, basketball, football. That's like when you start kind of choosing the dreams you want to chase, damn near.
Right.
So like 6th, 7th grade, I was hooping, was playing baseball. I was good at both at the time. But I was also like freestyling, and I was really into music. Like I used to damn near worship, like I was into music so much. So my family putting me on to all this different music, Future, Gucci, all these talking about drugs.
This is real talk right
Nah,
here.
for real.
Juice is being
Whenever you grow up and you subject, well, not really to subject, when you just hear these words and this shit put inside your head, bro, that's wherever you come up with the idea to start doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, motherfuckers started rapping about switches. Didn't nobody know about switches, gang. Now all of a sudden everybody rapping about switches, Glocks, ops, and this and the third. And it's like, now you got these big old crowds of people who want to do the same shit because they're hearing about it. They're hearing these people rapping about it. They're hearing kids, these people, they're hearing these things. And they're like, okay, they're doing this, so why the fuck can't I? I'm trying to do this and that. I'm trying to be like them. You know, I feel like we as people need to stop pushing things that are not healthy for a lifestyle. We need to really start, like, our society and humanity as a whole needs to really start looking at what they're pushing at, bro, from now on. I'm not gonna lie, because, like, if we don't stop letting this shit get pushed, I feel like the government ain't gonna overtake us. And a lot of y'all ain't gonna understand that right there. I'm gonna let that be a conversation for another day. You're not open for real, or not really woke, or not really, in tune with yourself, you're not really gonna understand that statement, bro. But like, bro, we need to wake up, bro. We need to wake
completely
up.
honest about how the music he loved, particularly Future's music, made drugs sound appealing to a young, impressionable kid. He specifically mentioned Future's impact.
When I heard Future, the first song I ever heard by Future was Ain't No Way Around It. The second song I've ever heard by Future is Dirty Sprite, like off the first Dirty Sprite mixtape. And that had me wanting to sip lean at like 11, 12 years old, bro.
So we're talking about an 11 or 12-year-old kid hearing these songs and wanting to try lean. According to reports, Juice WRLD started drinking lean in 6th grade and was taking Percocet and Xanax by age 14. That's a middle schooler experimenting with some of the most addictive substances known to man. Now, let's talk about the people who were supposed to be looking out for Juice. His label head Lil Bibby knew about the drug problem from day one, and he's been real about admitting that they should have done more. In an emotional interview, Bibby broke down how the addiction escalated.
Like I said, he was taking 1.5 pills, and like, I thought that was crazy, you know what I'm saying, Vlad? Because all of my like Herb and all of them, they only taking 1 or a half, you know what I'm saying? So 1.5 compared to.
I got this car recently. I'm not how much I was paying for insurance before.
Oh my.
I used
to a half. I'm looking like, bro, what? But then I found out that he was doing like 4. You know what I'm saying?
4 what?
Pills.
What kind of pills?
The Percocet.
Bibby thought Juice doing 1.5 pills was crazy, then found out he was doing 4 pills a day. But it gets even worse.
And bro, 4 perks. I don't think y'all understand. Perks is fent. Fent and perks go hand in hand with each other. Feel me? Perk 30s or fentanyl. Perk 10s, those are regular perks. Perk 10, I just popped the perk 10. Perk 30, I just popped the perk 30. Perk 60, I just popped 2 perk 30s. You know why he said that? Because there is no more after perk 30. Perk 30 strong as fuck. These niggas were popping perk 30s. 4 of them. These niggas are popping damn near 4 fent pills a day, bro. Damn near.
We found out he was doing more than 4. Like a week before he passed, you know? We found out he was doing, I ain't gonna say the number, but it was a lot.
Huge number, yeah.
Yeah.
So that freaked you out.
That was the final straw.
A week before Juice died, they found out he was taking an amount so high that Bibby won't even say the number on camera. This is someone who's been around street culture his whole life, and he's saying the number was so shocking he can't even repeat it. Here's where it gets really heartbreaking. They actually tried to save Juice WRLD's life. There was an intervention, and they had already signed him up for rehab. But listen to what Bibby says about Juice's response.
But I was on the phone when they was having it. So we all was right there, you know.
How did he take it? Was he like, all right, cool? Or he's like, nah, y'all tripping, I'm cool, I'm good.
You won't believe what he said.
What did he say?
He said, what did he say? He said, all right, I'll go, but I'm not stopping.
Okay.
He said, all right, I'll go, but I'm not stopping. Like, I'll lower my dosage, but I like he said, I like doing it too much. Like, I ain't stopping.
Think about that for a second. They're telling
a fucking fly just let it on me. What's going on? Anyways, bro, do y'all not know how? I don't think y'all understand what Juice WRLD was really going through, bro. Juice WRLD doing these things because this nigga experienced some type of pain in his life that really, really, really scarred him, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so, he even said inside his songs, bro, he was using these drugs to overcome with the pain, bro. He never was really just, like, it was something that he was avoiding that he did not want to deal with no more. And he knew it. That's why he said he didn't want to stop. He likes the way it makes him feel. It makes him feel numb. It makes him feel like he can just live. You feel me? And I understand that, bro, because I feel that way about Tree. Feel me? Like, whenever I was on probation, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like, it was just like everything was a little bit more sad. Like, I don't know, like, life was really kicking my ass at the time. Then I started back smoking, bro, and I'm like, damn, I feel better again. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's really, really weird. Damn, bro. I really hate that Juice WRLD had to die, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Juice WRLD does really, really hurt me, bro. Like, I kid you not. When I hear his music, bro, I'm like, damn, bro, wish he did not have to go. Juice WRLD was so hard, bro.
this young man that his life is in danger. They've got rehab set up for him, and his response is essentially, I'll go through the motions, but I'm not actually going to stop using. That's the voice of someone whose addiction had completely taken over. D Savage, who was living with Juice at the time, confirmed this same attitude.
But yeah, he was supposed to go to rehab. He was open for it. It's not like he wasn't. He was definitely open for it. But you know, when everybody wasn't around, I'll say this. When everybody wasn't around, he would let me know as clear as day, like, nigga, I'll go to rehab, right? I'll make you guys happy and go to rehab.
Damn.
But I'm bringing my drugs.
Damn.
Like, I'm bringing my pills with me.
D Savage gave us the most detailed look at what it was really like living with someone in the grips of such severe addiction. The picture he paints is absolutely devastating.
But one thing that he doesn't know is in his house, the room I'd sleep in was right next to his, so it could be early in the it could be early in the morning, and I'm hearing. So I know what's going on, but I've never seen it with my own eyes.
D Savage could hear Juice snorting pills through the walls in the early morning hours. This wasn't occasional use. This was someone whose entire daily routine revolved around staying high. Allie Lottie, Juice's girlfriend, was waking up thinking her boyfriend was dead because the drugs had him in such a deep sleep. They're having these deep conversations about how serious the problem is. But nothing.
Bro, and if you go watch the live, there's a live, right, of Juice WRLD on the plane, bro. And like before his seizure, bro, you could tell it was over with. Like you could tell it was over with. It was done for. Like, bro was literally sitting there like this, and he, hi, like it's sad as fuck to watch that shit, bro. I kid you not, because it's nothing but pain and anger. That's all it is. It's nothing but pain and anger that is masked behind these drugs, bro. I'm gonna go and keep it real with y'all. When people are getting high, it's not because, let me say it like this. A lot of people get high to escape shit. A lot of people get high so that they don't have to feel a certain feeling no more. A lot of people get high so that they're not thinking. A lot of people get high so that they can go to sleep and they're not thinking about it. A lot of people get high so that they don't eat, so that way people won't call them fat no more. A lot of people get high so that they have a lot of energy so that they can go to work all the time. A lot of people get high so that they can go and just focus on their test. Feel me? A lot of these people are taking these drugs for these different things, bro. And so whenever and you keep on, and it's like you don't know what else can help you, bro. You become addicted because it's like don't nothing else help you but this thing. This thing right here is giving you a better feeling, and that's the only thing that helps. So you become addicted to it. A lot of people don't understand that, bro.
Things changing. Now let's talk about something that a lot of people don't want to address: how the music industry enabled and profited off Juice WRLD's addiction. Lil Bibby, to his credit, has been honest about this.
Bro, you tripping, you know?
I mean, when it comes to the music, I mean, he's the artist, right? So,
Yeah.
so you don't want to tell the artist what to do, but it was like, all right, every song has a drug reference to it. Did you ever talk to him about that, or you just let him do him?
I kind of let him record because, well, I tell him sometimes, like, bro, this all you talking about.
But here's the thing. They let him keep making music about drugs because it was authentic, and authentic sells records. Bibby even says,
But you kind of got to let an artist talk about, say that what they feel, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
because that's how the music is made.
People gonna feel what
That's
Don't
literally,
for less.
I'm
Here's
gonna
what
let this
others are
person
doing
right
to
here
fix
skip
missing
this
and
shit.
broken
What the fuck
teeth.
am I
The
looking
company
at?
everyone
What's
has been
going
raving
on
about
with
is
you?
called
Ugly teeth
Nuvia.
bag girl, ugly
coming
lips
from
bag girl.
if you
But when it comes to hip hop nowadays, bro, matter of fact, in all of hip hop, bro, hip hop is a thing because it's relatable to the black community. Right? That's originally what it was for. Hip hop was made for the black community, or rap was made for the black community. And it was originally made so that way people can voice how they really feel. You know what I'm saying? Over time, it got took over and it became something else. It's still that. That's originally what it is. But it's like, it's not, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, it's more drill based and I don't know. But that's beside. Whenever you're making these music, bro, you can't just tell a rapper stop rapping about these things because that's what the rapper is good at. Like, that's his job. You know what I'm saying? These rappers are rappers because they're rapping about what they're going through. They're rapping about how they feel. They're rapping about these things they see. They're rapping about the lifestyle they live. They're rapping. You know what I'm saying? Music is like, to be an artist, bro, you gotta be more open to that. You know what I'm saying? Like more open to yourself and more connected with yourself on some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how to explain it, but some of y'all might know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about some you ain't doing or talking about some you ain't that ain't real, then like.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing about being a real artist. You really have to talk about what it is.
Yeah.
So they're caught in this impossible situation where stopping him from talking about drugs in his music would be stopping him from being authentic. But letting him talk about it was essentially encouraging and normalizing his addiction. The crazy part is that Juice WRLD was literally predicting his own death in his music. Songs like Legends, where he talked about not wanting to join the 27 Club, but feeling like he was gonna die young anyway. His lyrics were full of references to dying from drug overdoses, and everybody just treated it like it was artistic expression instead of a cry for help. The most tragic part of this whole story is that help was literally days away.
But here's the thing though. That statement right there is not true. Let me tell you why. A lot of his fans did pick up on that. A lot of his fans pick up on his music. A lot of his fans knew what was going on. But it's like, with somebody like that, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If you would have took the drugs away from Juice WRLD, bro, he might not have been the same person. Drugs was his personality. Feel me? Not only that, bro, you can only do so much. Where after that, it's like, okay, now this person right here has to take accountability and hold themselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing really people can do. Like, yeah, people can be like, oh, stop doing this, or really like push him more. And I feel like that really played a big part if they did. But at the same time, if they would have done that, would Juice WRLD really have been Juice WRLD after that?
December 22nd, 2019. Juice WRLD died on December 8th. He was 14 days away from potentially getting the help he needed to save his life. But as we've seen from all these testimonies, the addiction was so deep and so powerful that even Juice himself was telling people he wasn't going to stop using. The disease had completely taken over. And despite having money, fame, and people who genuinely cared about him, none of that was enough to overcome the grip that opioids had on his life. Up next, we're going to break down exactly what happened in those final hours, examine the broader impact his death had on the culture, and talk about what lessons we can learn from this tragedy to prevent it from happening to other young artists. The hard lessons and Juice's legacy. Juice WRLD's mother, Carmela Wallace, has been incredibly brave in speaking publicly about her son's addiction and death. In her first major interview after his passing, she revealed that she had always feared he would die from an overdose. She said, "It was devastating, but one thing I decided early on was I was not going to hide the fact that he died from a drug overdose." Later, in an interview on the Tamron Hall show, she revealed something that makes this whole tragedy even more heartbreaking. Juice WRLD was ready to get help in the months before his death, having stopped using lean but still taking pills. Wallace criticized the enabling behavior of his inner circle, saying, "I just felt like his best interest wasn't being looked out for." She also shared that treatment was booked for December 22nd, 2019, just 2 weeks after he died. Help was literally around the corner.
Literally, that nigga died on December 8th, 2019. I think it was December 8th or December 7th, bro. I remember this day, bro. I remember December 8th, 2019. I'm pretty sure it was December 8th, 2019 when this bro had died, bro.
Came too late. Juice WRLD's death sent shockwaves through not just hip-hop, but through an entire generation of young people who connected with his music. His openness about mental health, addiction, and emotional pain had made him a voice for millions of kids who were struggling with similar issues. But his death also exposed some uncomfortable truths about how the music industry handles young artists with substance abuse problems. A 2021 study found that 72% of top rap songs from 2006 to 2018 contained references to substances, with many portraying drug use in a positive light. The industry profits from this authenticity, but often fails to provide the support systems these artists need. Adam22 touched on this in his interview about Juice.
Like it just feels like we should know enough at this point that it should seem like an emergency to help them out, you know, after seeing what happened to Peep and everybody else. It just feels like at this point, if I had an artist that was under me, if I found an artist I wanted to sign him and they had like a drug problem, it just feels like at this point, for my conscience and for, you know, potential legal liability, I would just not be able to have that around me unless I was really actively working to get them clean.
5 years after Juice WRLD's death, we can see clearly what went wrong and what needs to change to prevent future tragedies. 1. Earlier intervention. The people around Juice knew about his addiction for years before his death, but intervention didn't happen until it was almost too late. The industry needs systems in place to identify and help artists with substance abuse issues much earlier. 2. Better support systems. Having money and fame doesn't cure addiction. Artists need access to specialized treatment programs that understand the unique pressures and challenges of the music industry. 3. Changing the culture. While artistic authenticity is important, the industry needs to find ways to support artists' mental health without enabling destructive behaviors. 4. Education and awareness. Carmela Wallace's Live Free 999 Foundation continues to work on normalizing conversations about mental health and addiction, particularly among young people. Juice WRLD's death didn't just end one life, it sent ripples through the entire hip-hop community. Mac Miller had died from a similar overdose just over a year earlier. Lil Peep had died from fentanyl and Xanax in 2017. Lexaye Alijai would die from a fentanyl and alcohol overdose just 3 weeks after Juice. The pattern was clear. Young, talented
I dare you.
I never
to
knew
let me
all that.
build you
I never
a
knew that
completely free
them other two artists.
e-commerce
I just
store.
knew about Lil Peep.
Preload.
artists were dying from the same substances they rap about in their music. The opioid crisis had fully infiltrated hip-hop culture, and the industry was struggling to find ways to address it without compromising artistic authenticity. The people who were closest to Juice WRLD want fans to understand that he was more than his addiction. D Savage talked about the side of Juice that the public rarely saw.
Like I said, he likes shooting guns. And we like going to the mountain. And we'll go to the mountain, set up a campfire.
Damn.
Yeah, sit there, make s'mores and he like riding dirt bikes. We'll bring all the dirt bikes out there with the guns, ride dirt bikes. And even then when it's nighttime, we got lights for all the dirt bikes. So the lights on them, we just go ride. We all following each other for miles on end. He taught me how to ride a dirt bike. Like the shoes I wore on his birthday, I still have with mud on them. I've never worn them since. Like,
this is the Juice WRLD that his friends remember. Not just the tortured artist struggling with addiction, but a young man who loved life, who taught his friends how to ride dirt bikes, who would set up campfires in the mountains and just enjoy being alive. The music industry is still grappling with how to handle artists who struggle with substance abuse. On one hand, there's pressure to let artists be authentic and express their real experiences. On the other hand, there's a responsibility to not enable self-destructive behavior. Juice WRLD's music will live forever because it was honest, raw, and connected with people's real experiences. But his death should serve as a warning about where untreated addiction leads. The Live Free 999 Foundation that his mother started continues to work on mental health and addiction awareness, trying to make sure that other young people don't have to go through what Juice went through. Adam22 put it best when he talked about how Juice's death changed his own perspective.
Leave those perks alone.
Drugs in general, man. Like, I totally changed my life over the past year or two. So I think when I say something like, if I had a young artist around me, I wouldn't be able to just let them keep living like that. It was like a couple years ago, I was still with drugs recreationally here and there. So I think I viewed it from a different lens. For me, I've gotten so much healthier over the past few years, and it's just been like the best thing I ever did with myself. So, you know, I want that for like the younger people that I meet.
This was a young man who started using drugs at 11 years old because his musical heroes made it sound cool. This was an artist whose addiction spiraled to the point where he was taking 20+ pills a day and still couldn't stop. This was a human being who agreed to go to rehab but told his closest friends he was still planning to bring drugs with him. The real footage that changes everything is the collection of honest testimonies from people who loved him, tried to help him, and watched helplessly as addiction took him away from them. It's the toxicology report that shows just how much his body was struggling with on that final day. It's his mother's brave decision to speak openly about addiction instead of hiding it. Juice WRLD's death was a tragedy, but it doesn't have to be meaningless. If his story can help other young people understand the real dangers of drug addiction, not the glamorized version in songs, but the reality of what it actually does to your life and the people who love you, then maybe some good can come from this heartbreak. Rest in
R.I.P. R.I.P. Bullets. Credit his mother. Obviously, she got over it. Not really got over it, but learned how to deal with it, obviously. Bro, to the people out there dealing with addiction, bro, if anybody's watching this video right now and dealing with addiction, watch it in the video, bro. I pray that you whatever you were going through, bro. And if you were really trying, bro, if you want to overcome it, but you just can't, bro, I feel you, bro. I pray for you, bro, and I really do, and I hope you overcome. I hope that one day you don't have to do these substances. Hey, you know. I hope that one day you find clarity within yourself and find self love with feel me. I don't know. With that being said, RIP Juice. Y'all niggas, yo, peace.